How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Tyler Reddick here from 2311 Racing. Another checkered flag for the books. Time to celebrate with Chumba. Jump in at ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. CT&Cs. 21 plus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
He's an old head.
Youngins are really starting to get on my damn nerves.
He's a purveyor of nonsense. He's a Georgia high school coaching job influencer. His favorite Bible verse is, Jesus wept. He's the man of constant sorrow, Chris Lamb.
Yeah.
Sun Coaches Podcast would like to thank our sponsor, Vertical Raise. Elevate your program's fundraising this season with Vertical Raise. Vertical Raise is the premier online fundraising platform for organizations of all sizes, using innovative technology to create the easiest and most efficient system available. Raise more money in less time with your local fundraising coach, who works with you every step of the way to customize the ideal fundraiser for your program. To find out more, reach out to Justin Kilpatrick at justink@verticalraise.com. or follow at Vertical Raise, capital G, capital A, on X. Justin Kilpatrick is a territory sales representative. His number is 229-860-0057. Again, you can reach him at justink@verticalraise.com. Justin is good people. I've met him at a golf tournament this summer, and he's done a lot of good work for a lot of programs over the state. Reach out and see what he can do for your program.
Welcome to Sun Coaches Podcast, and today we are joined by the head coach at Allatoona High School, Coach Brad Smith. Coach, thanks for being on with us.
No, Coach, appreciate it. Love to be a part of this. Excited about it.
Well, I know everybody's started summer. This is going to air a week later, but we started summer yesterday or Monday, and everybody's busy, and I appreciate you taking time to share your story with us, and looking forward to it. Can't wait. And so start with just telling us where you grew up and where you're from.
Yeah, man. I grew up in Logaville, Georgia. My dad was a coach for 42 years. I played under Tommy Stringer. Was at Clarkston for a long time, and then he came to Loganville. Was there, till he was an athletic director, assistant principal. And so really learned a lot from him, and obviously my pops. And then from there, went and played at Shorter University under another great man, Phil Jones. And I think that's kind of the new thing for us. A lot of us guys that graduated from Shorter now are coaching, and so there's a kind of a little fraternity with all of us. So we're excited about that. Kind of like the new Carson Newman tree. And from there, went and was a grad assistant at UGA for Coach Rick. Did that, and just really honed my craft and what I was trying to do and what I wanted to do, and really put my focus on like this football thing is where it's at. I was in strength conditioning as a GA, and just realized that like the game is what I missed, and like being a part of the game. Like the weight room was awesome, and I still was able to do that throughout my career, but I realized that coaching football is what I wanted to do. And so from that point on, and got into coaching.
Well, who all did you play with at Shorter that's coaching now?
Oh, man. Jake Kelly, who's the head coach at Cherokee County in Alabama. He's been to a couple state championships. Caleb Carmine, he's the head coach at Kennesaw Mountain. Muhammad Abdelatif, strength conditioning coordinator at Rome. Zach Morrison's the head coach at Shorter now. The list goes on and on.
Grant, did Grant play with you?
Oh, yeah. How can I forget about Grant? Me and Grant were teammates. Now the defensive coordinator at Cherokee, all those guys, man.
Because when you said Mo, I was like, wait a minute, then you played with Grant.
Yeah, we played with Grant. Yeah.
Well, what was it like GA-ing for Coach Rick? I mean, he's one of the most well thought of human beings on the face of the planet.
I think he showed for me, you hear the horror stories of what college is like. It's a numbers game, and they're always trying to replace you, which is correct. I'm not saying that it's not, but even at that level, you could see that Coach Rick was a relational guy. He cared about his kids, and he was committed to his guys. And I think that that's one of the things that I really took from him, even at this role, making all this money and where he was committed to his coaches and to his players. And that's one of the things I admire the most about him. He was a fantastic boss. But, I'll be honest with you, anytime you saw CMR, because that's what everybody had in his phone for him, you were freaking out because you thought something was wrong. But you didn't want that phone call. But he was a great boss.
So after you GA'd there, you just decided to go the high school route, or you just?
Yeah, I got offered a strength and conditioning job, an assistant strength and conditioning job at Delaware, and was engaged to my now wife, and realized that the strength and conditioning world is not what I wanted to pursue. Like I said, I missed the game. I missed being a part of it and coaching that part, the strategy aspect. And so I decided from that point, I turned down that offer, and I went and became a student teacher at Sonoraville High School because my wife was in the Sonoraville School District.
The Phoenix.
The Phoenix, the Fighting Phoenix. So the Matt Rigdons, the Michael Rigdons, all those guys.
That's awesome. So when you got done doing that, what was your first gig out of Sonoraville?
So out of Sonoraville, I got a flight. They didn't have a teaching spot for me when I finished student teaching. And so I was kind of,
oh man, that sucks.
So me and my wife had just gotten married, and I had to go move back in with now the athletic director at West Hall, Trevor Cotrette. He had a little house over there, and I got a job at Chestatee High School as an in-school teacher. And I just gotten married, and then I had to go so that I had a paycheck, live with my college roommate for 6 months so I could find a job. This was when all that teacher, we'd just come out of the 2008 recession. So getting a job was really hard. And so, here I am, a newly married guy, and I don't even live in the same house as my wife. I was back in college again for a little bit, and did that. And then I was at Chestatee and got offered a job by Chris Griffin at Flowery Branch and took that. And so me and my wife moved to Flowery Branch from there.
It was crazy is back then it was so hard to get a job. Now we've got such a shortage. We can't find enough teachers to fill spots.
It's crazy. Yeah, I know. Like, I couldn't find anything. I was looking all over the place, and there was nothing available. And just so happened that I contacted where my mom and dad taught in Logaville was best friends. The principal at Logaville High School was best friends with the principal at Chestatee, and they got to talking, and I think they were like, yeah, hey, there's this guy from Logaville that needs a job. And the in-school teacher was Coach Bragg, who went to Raven. And so I filled his spot, and it's just funny how it worked out. So I had a job for 6 months, which was all I was looking for.
So where did you go after that?
So from Flowery Branch, I went to Dalton, which was probably my longest stint. I was there for 5 years with Matt Land. Worked there, coached offensive line, running backs, wide receivers, passing game coordinator, co-offensive coordinator, and did all of this stuff when Coach Napier was going through his illness. And so I learned a lot under Coach Land, Coach Napier, Coach Sparks. All those guys were a huge influence on me and, what we do offensively and how we treat kids. I think that's probably the most I've learned. I was assistant strength and conditioning coach with Scott Thompson, who does a great job at the weight room at Dalton. Did that. And we went on some really good runs. 2016, we went to the semifinals, lost to Valdosta. Just some incredible games where we played Coffee County, and we stopped them with 3 seconds left to go to win the game. And, a lot of really cool experiences. Went to Northside Warner Robins, went to the MAC, had those guys on their toes and on their heels, excuse me. And we played a great game and just lost it there at the end. So had some really great experiences there. And from there, I went to North Murray with Preston Pogue was the co-coordinator, or was the offensive coordinator with him, and strength and conditioning coach by myself. I was the head strength and conditioning coach for 2 years with him. And then we had Ladd, So I've been blessed to have some really good players everywhere I went. Luke Griffin, who went to Missouri, now transferred to Purdue. Some different ones, man. We've always had a good plethora of talent, and then got an opportunity with Clay Stevenson at Calhoun, and jumped on that in 2018-19 season, and then the pandemic hit, and I got my first head coaching job at Logaville High School. So, kind of been around, man.
So you basically got to go home.
Got to go home. Yeah, absolutely. Got to go home. It was, was there for 3 years. Wouldn't trade that experience for anything. Still have a ton of friends. We really kind of, if there's something I'm proud of, man, it's a lot of things that we did that are still being used today there. And I think that's just what I get I get so proud of all the people. It's not me. It's the people that are still there. It's the people that came with me to Allatoona, and the hard work that we put into that place is still probably showing up daily over there. We changed how the youth program works. Those guys were playing in a rec league where, man, there was like 3 different Logaville teams. You were playing black, red, and white. And then you played Walnut Grove, green, white, and black. And then you had Monroe, gray and white, and and just you played each other, and you never really experienced the magnitude of football. And so we got us into another league, the NGYFA, and we started playing Jeffersons and the Jackson counties, and we're playing on Saturdays, and they're playing in the stadium. Really proud of that effort and what we did there, and they're still in it, rocking it. We started off with 53 kids when I got there, and I think we finished with 118 that last year, and went 9-1 in the regular season, and we lost in the first round of the playoffs to Dalton. But just how quickly we were able to turn the tides in the positive was tremendous. And then it took a lot of people, and we're still really proud of it. It was an exciting time, and then the opportunity came here, and probably a lot of people question, why would you leave home? Mom and dad are still there and things like that. But it just happened to be. It's hard to explain, but it put us an hour and 15 minutes from my parents, and my wife's from Chatsworth, Murray County, so it put us an hour and 20 minutes from her family. So we couldn't be more right smack dab in the middle of where we want to be, where we could get to her family and spend time with her family. And then also, whenever we wanted to come home, it wasn't a crazy distance for us to go see my parents. So that's what we're doing. And we're trying to, get this thing headed right back in the right direction. That Coach Barner and that staff did such a tremendous job here and created a legacy and a history that we're just trying to get back to those same kind of standards.
I know you'll get it done too. I mean, y'all had a great run there at Loganville. I came and played in the golf tournament. Missed you. Y'all were on vacation.
Yep.
And I played with Coach Shellnut.
Yeah.
And some guy up there had a golf cart that looked like Toe Mater from Cars. That was cool.
Yeah.
And we had a big time. I still have a Loganville football collared shirt because I told him that was all I wanted. That's it. I was like, hey man, I'll come play, and I'm going to pay to play. I just get me a Loganville golf shirt, like a coach's shirt. So
I'm telling you, when John David told us that, man, it was like a celebrity was coming. Like we're like, man, Constanzaro's coming, dude. Like, set it up. Let's do it right now.
Yeah. Come watch this guy lose 1,000 golf balls. It's going to be great.
But I tell you what, I love watching. I tell you what I admire, man. Like how you post all the stuff about your son, and like what's so cool now is my oldest kind of gave up travel baseball when we moved up here, and he's gotten into golf and just the experiences that you share on social media. And now I get to watch my 11-year-old. He plays on the Junior PGA. He wants to play on the AJGA tour and all that kind of stuff. And like that's just there's nothing like that. And so we've been able to. I don't. From a distance, I'm like, yeah, man, that's one of the best things when you get to watch your kid, and he has great sportsmanship, and he's dapping up the kid he's playing with, man. It's fantastic.
Yeah, mine's not very good right now. He's working on it, but he enjoys it. And, you know, living on a golf course is something that he and I can do together. And that's the main thing for me. You know, I'm under no delusions that he's going to play college golf or any of that kind of stuff, because he doesn't care. You know, he's not like that. And
Tyler Reddick here from 2311 Racing. The rush of racing? Nothing beats it. But Chumba Casino comes close. Chumba's got fast spins, fun games, daily bonuses, and all the action you can handle. Now that's a ride. Ready to hit the throttle? Get in the driver's seat and head to ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
You know, he's a good teammate and stuff like that, and there's something to be said for that, and he enjoys it, and it's something he can do because he's on the spectrum, and, you know, he's got some health things going on, but he loves to play with me, and that's, you know, something that me and him can always do together. So that's cool. And, you know, I like sharing it with everybody else and letting other coaches know that there's something, you know, we are daddies too. You know, we have our own kids and we need to spend time with them. And anytime we have, you know, free time, that's where we need to spend it.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You know, me and my 11-year-old, man, we butt heads, but when we're on the golf course, it's a different type of thing. And so it's been really good for us. Yeah,
we have one of the guys we play with. He's an orthopedic surgeon, and he lives on our sister golf course in Warner Robins, and you know, people hit 1,000 golf balls in his backyard, and that's what he plays with. He doesn't care.
Yeah,
and so he writes. He's got in blue. He writes a big MF on all of his balls, and Grayson was like, "What's that stand for, Doc?" He said, he just looked at me and he looked at him. And he went, "My friend." And I was like, "Okay, good, thank you." So then we get to the state golf tournament, and they tell them you got to mark your ball. You know, put your initials on it or something, a dot, whatever. So sure enough, my kid puts a big MF on all of his balls. And I'm like, this is great. And my mother came to watch him play, like, not day one. So day one, he just had like his initials on it. Day two, he's writing a big MF on all his balls. And my wife and I were just dying. I'm taking pictures of it, sending it to the guys in the group, because they let Grayson play golf with us on weekends. We play a game called beer ball. And and there, you know, basically takes all of the hazards out of the game. But anyway,
right.
It was just funny. I mean, it's just one of those things that you enjoy, you know,
no doubt.
Spend time with your kid. And I'm like, oh my God, these other parents and these other kids are going, this kid's got MF on his ball. What do you mean? It stands for my friend.
My friend, man. Yeah. It's a great story.
Especially when golf, you know, frustrates people so bad. To him, he's like, oh, well, you know, I'll just get another one, hit it, go find it, and hit it again.
That's it.
But, yeah, man, it's been, I enjoyed that. And Shellnut, good people. You know, I went and played in his, you know, when they had the golf tournament for his father, and I had that when we went and played in that, and that was awesome up there on the lake. And it was 4 degrees, but enjoyed it. I got a group together down here, and we rode up there and played and enjoyed that. And I've heard he's moved on. He's gone to
he's at
Oconee County, and he's at Oconee County, and y'all all bugged out of there. And I was like, man, me and you know, we've tried to hook up, but as I've said, I can't move. Yeah, my next move will probably be to the mountains. We went to Colorado last week to see my niece graduate, and people were texting me like, oh my God, because I sent pictures of like the view from the football stadium, and you can see Pikes Peak. And I was just taking a picture of the mountains because I like mountains. And people were texting me going, hey man, are you interviewing in Colorado? I was like, no. But it is nice out here.
That's like, you know, I'll tell you what, man, Tom Clark from North Cobb. He was out visiting and all that stuff, and he went to Utah. He's now the boss man out in Utah, and he posted a picture first day in the books. I saw the sunset, and I was like, man, I could get behind this.
Now, what you can get behind is there's no humidity. That's what you can get behind.
There is no doubt.
I mean,
about it.
They told me, they were like, hey, man, when you get off the airplane back in Atlanta, you're going to be mad. And I was like, I don't think I've ever been depressed in my life. But that week we got back from Colorado, I told my wife, I said, I think I've actually been depressed this week. Because this weather is, why do we live here? I mean, when there's that kind of weather, I mean, good Lord, it was windy, but they were like, oh my God, it's like 83 degrees outside. And I'm like, but there's no humidity.
No humidity.
Like none.
And big boys sweat.
Yeah. It was nice. So what was your, as an assistant, what was your favorite place? Probably Dalton, you'd say?
Oh man. So I would say it's a three-way race between Flowery Branch. And I would say that because of how many just straight up awesome people. You had Heath Webb, who's now at Lumpkin.
Oh yeah. He's a good dude.
You had Sean Conley, who was the head coach at Chestatee. Man, Chris Griffin, Artie Ulmer, who played for the Falcons. Just so many people that I could learn from, and that in a room. And you're talking about having that podcast that you're talking about, where you just sit around and talk about in the coach's office.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a day goes by that I didn't just soak up the stories that I was hearing in there, because it was incredible, And so that was a great opportunity for me, and that's where I really coached defense for the only time in my career. So that was a great experience for me to learn coverages, fronts, all the things that we were trying to accomplish that way. So Flowery Branch was a great experience. Dalton was a tremendous experience. That was just so much growth. Coach Napier gave me, invaluable knowledge. He has more football. He had more football knowledge in his big toe than I do and will ever. And so to learn from him and to hear his stories and all the things that him and Coach Sparks did when they were coaching together, awesome opportunity. And we went on some really good runs. And man, I had a great time. I've had a great time everywhere I've been. There's obviously been places or things that have happened that you weren't crazy about, and you wish that things would have been different in different places. But I've never been somewhere where I didn't enjoy the football aspect. I learned a ton from Preston at North Murray, and I feel like Clay Stevenson and I are super close. And we talk about things that have nothing to do with football, and we bounce ideas like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And so I've enjoyed everywhere. And I can honestly say that. Now, I haven't enjoyed the schools that I've worked at, because I've been half PE, half sped some places. I didn't enjoy some of the schools, but I have enjoyed everywhere I've coached. Really enjoyed it.
Well, I tell people all the time, kids aren't the problem.
It's the adults.
The adults are the problem. And the nonsense that you've got to go through to get through a day, that, things that seem like they'd be common sense or what. I mean, kids are going to be kids, but the stuff that teachers have to deal with, not from the kids are kids.
Right.
But the nonsense that you have to deal with from people that just don't get it. And you're just looking at them going, oh my God. I mean, I went on a rampage just talking to myself on the way to work the other day about, we got two generations of people, probably not necessarily generations, but age groups, probably your age group and the group right behind you, and half of your age group, and the group right behind you, and the group that's coming. They're not very smart overall. I'd say 90% of them are not intelligent. And that's probably going to offend a lot of people that hear this, but it just goes to show you that 90% of them are functionally illiterate, and they're going to have to look up what functional illiteracy means. If you don't believe it, just think about it. I mean, because those people are going to get offended and don't even understand why they're offended, because they probably are 10% of the people that I'm not talking about.
Yeah.
But you think about it, 90% of those people, they're not real smart. Why? Because we failed them in the educational system. We haven't held them accountable. We haven't made them. And it's not the kids. The kids will do what you expect them to do. But no, we've made excuses for them. We've, it's not your fault. You can't help it. You have to take medicine. You have to do this. You have to whatever. Oh, it's, this, that, and the other. Instead of, no, son, you don't know how to do this. Well, we're gonna get you right. We're gonna remediate. We're going to adapt, adjust, and overcome. We're going to teach you how to adapt, adjust, and overcome. I mean, that's what we do on the football field. You know,
I remember one time being somewhere, and the kid was failing, and I was like, "So what are the steps? What do we do for this guy?" And they're like, "Coach, he bumps up at social promotion." And I said, what the hell is that? And they're like, "Well, he gets promoted with his class. Like, it doesn't affect him. He's just a freshman." And I was like, he's failing like 2 out of 3 real classes. The only thing he's passing is weight training. And we're going to bump him up. And they're like, "Well, that's kind of the way we operate. It's kind of the way we operate here." And I said, social promotion, and the fact that somebody got paid to come up with that, just baffles me.
Yeah, we're doing away with small group math because it's not really effective. So you're going to take kids that couldn't handle small group algebra, and they're going to be put into geometry next year with just a code teacher. Sound strategy. Or, just look at the way that we classify, that department anyway, special education anyway. If a child is in fact found to require, under certain circumstances, an IEP, that means their IQ falls under a certain number. Well, if said number is determined by an IQ test, which is based on logic, and they fail to reach that number, there's no amount of accommodations that you're going to make that's going to allow them to do math, because math is logic. But that makes too much sense. You can't point that out to people, because then they look at you like you're an idiot, and you become the bad guy. And you're like, well, I'm not saying that we just dump on the kid. What I'm telling you is, or think about it like this: if you're a freshman in the state of Georgia, what math do you take? Do you know?
Algebra.
Algebra or what? There is no or. There's not an or.
Yeah.
There's not an or. That's a problem. Algebra might be some kids' junior math or senior math. We don't have an or. You know what I mean? Some kids, they need general arithmetic, because they struggle with math. It's not their fault that they don't know their times tables by the time they get to high school. That's an adult's fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we always tell, you're a head coach. Y'all tell us this kind of stuff all the time. If this joker if by the time he gets to be a junior or senior in our program and he doesn't know how to down block, that's one of y'all's fault. Or by Friday night, if he doesn't know how to run this play, and you put him in and he messes up because he went the wrong way, whose fault is that?
Coach.
Yeah. Same thing. It's an adult's fault. Yeah. It's the same concept, but us as coaches, we see that. But it goes back to what you're saying. You go into schools and you deal with people and you're like, oh my God. you love the kids, but the people you're around, you're like, oh, these smokes. It's just weird.
And it was the same with the young coaches, I think I struggle with that, and I've gotten, I guess, a little crusty when it comes to things. And I'm just, some of these young guys, I'm like, man, have you ever pulled a string? You ever cleaned a locker room after a game? Like, these were just, I don't want to say their expectations or whatever they were. Like, this is just what you did, because it never got done if you didn't do that. And we had to do them. And the head coach was right there with us. Everybody had jobs to do. Everybody did. And I think that's one of the things is lacking is, and I know you go on the same way that I am. Like, we all want certain things, and you have to be willing to do certain things to do that. But you also have to be willing to be patient. And, when you're patient, you have to go through stuff to get to the other side of things. And I think that's just one of the things that I've noticed about the next generation of coaches and the young guys is the lack of patience.
I agree with that. Patience.
Of just going.
And I don't think they understand how this stuff works. It just happens.
And then the other thing is there's some of these guys that I've, coached with or worked with, and they're like, how did you major opportunity? Well, you had this. my family has sacrificed tremendously. And I'll talk to you young guys. If any of you young coaches listen, you might not know who I am or who care anything that I'm saying, but like, no one's going to do this for you. And if you're sitting around waiting for your head coach to promote you to offensive coordinator, and then your offensive coordinator become the head coach, and
hey, it's Cole Swindell, and when I spend 200 days a year rolling down the highway, the bus can start to feel smaller than a guitar case. Everyone wonders how I stay chill while the hours crawl by. Truth is, one good luck spin on Chumba, and suddenly the trip feels a whole lot shorter. Finding your space, even when there isn't much to spare. Need some chill? Let's Chumba.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus TNC supply. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
Promote you to offensive coordinator or whatever the case might be, and then you're just going to wait till everybody retires or gets a better job before you get into that head coaching role. The key to this whole thing for me, I believe, is finding the right woman. Like, I have married the greatest lady on the planet when it comes to, she's allowed me to chase my dreams and put hers on the back burner so that I could be in the position that I am today, where I've been a head coach for going on my 5th year. And we had to do some moving around, and we had to pack boxes and load up U-Hauls and tote kids from Northwest Georgia to Northeast Georgia back to Northwest Georgia. And I think that some people love the idea of being a head coach, but are unwilling to take the necessary steps that it takes to get there. And it's not always just wait. Now, some people get lucky and the timing's right, and, good for those guys. But for some of these guys that want to do those things and want to be like, that's when, we have exit interviews. What do you want to do? I want to be offense coordinator and being a head coach. Okay, that's great to have goals. Map it out for me. What's your plan on doing that? How are you going to do that? And that's when you start to realize, like, there's very few of these guys that have a plan on how to make those things happen. And I think that's one of the things that I learned really quickly. And I learned it from, funny enough, I learned it from Stacey Searles when I was at Georgia. He's like, figure out what you want to do, and then you map that thing out how you're going to do it. And then you try to set some timelines and some guidelines for you, and you go balls to the wall till you get to that point. And then you refocus, you reset your goals. And if it's still what you want to do, continue on that path, or it can branch off and go somewhere else. And I think some of these guys, that's not the case. They just they'd love to be an offensive coordinator or head coach. But how do you make that happen? And I think about my dad's old saying, Dad, I was like, I wish I could do this, or I wish I could do that. He's like, well, you can wish in one hand and crap in the other, and see which one fills up first, Brad.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of always been in the back of my mind too. So
yeah. Well, it's like today. Today, I turned 50 this year. I'm in my 30th year of coaching, and my 25th year of teaching. I got up at 4:30. I left the house at 6 to get there at 7 so that I could fill up all the water bottles and the cow and all that stuff and get the field set up, because that's my job.
Yeah.
And I'm the second oldest on the staff. And why? Because that's my job. That's what we do. Because all of us, there's only 5 of us, and it takes all 5 of us doing what we do to get it done. And then when we transported from the new school over to where we practice at the old school, while everybody's doing what they do, I have to help, I'm in the equipment room, fitting helmets and getting chin straps and doing this and that. Why? Because it has to be done, and it's my job.
It takes what it takes.
And then after practice, coaches, you got anything? Yeah, all the freshmen need to see me after practice. All right, guys, I need you two. Y'all run over there and grab those cones. You two go grab those bags. You go get it, because it's got to be done. And I'm not picking it all up.
No.
I can delegate. I can do that.
There's no doubt.
And I can make them feel good about it, and not dump on just 2 of them. And I can mind screw them into, hey, if we work together, we can get this done in like 5 minutes, guys. Let's go. Let's knock it out.
Yep.
And then
I'll tell you what, there's nothing like an equipment room. That's just there's one of the equipment room is, the greatest ones have been, and I'm not saying that you are, Lamb, but like the greatest ones I've been with have been like the grouchy, super detailed, super organized, and that thing runs like clockwork. It just boom, boom, boom. It gets taken care of. And, it's funny. Me and you were talking before we got on here about equipment room stories, and we were handing out, I'm telling you, my least favorite day. I got a couple of them, picture days up there. But when you're handing out numbers, right, when people are getting numbers and that senior class is graduated and all them single digits are available and stuff, we were giving out numbers, and we had a new kid, and he came in there, and he's a basketball kid. He was like, our equipment guy, he was like, "Hey, what number are you?" And he goes, "Braylon." And we're like, No, what number are you? He's like, "Oh, Braylon." My man was so confused and so lost that he didn't even know what number he was. He was so intimidated by coming into that equipment room. He was just spouting kids, and he's like, "No, Braylon, that's his number. He's got because Braylon had picked his jersey up, and he had Braylon's jersey, and he was like, 'What number do you have?' And he's like, 'Braylon.'" And I'm like, "What the heck is going on?" Right? And so it's a crazy place, the old equipment room, and I.
Well, that was like this year. The speed flexes haven't come in that we ordered, and we generally let the seniors, we let them have the nice, those, and they just haven't come back. And then the ones we ordered haven't come in, and we're a small school, so we don't have. It's not like we have 100 seniors, so we went ahead and headed off at the pass. When they came in, what we had, we're like, "Look, baby, this is what we got. Until the good stuff comes in, this is what you got." Which they don't understand. What they're running out there in now is a heap nicer than anything me and you played in. Well, you, much less me, what I played in. I mean, it's what they wore back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Weighed 7,000 pounds. What they're playing in now is like nothing.
No doubt.
And they're like, "Man, I ain't got no speed flex and DVD." And I'm like, "Well, hey, you ain't got to pay for it. You could be in North Georgia where you got to buy your stuff." Yeah,
you enjoy that shut bucket and roll out here, bro.
Yeah, let's go. And ours are all white, so they're like stormtroopers anyway. So I was like, "Yeah, man, get out there. Let's go. You're all right."
You gotta love a good bobblehead.
Yeah, and I got 14,000 mouthpieces in my pocket because I got one that eats them. And I'm like, "Coach, I know here. Eat this one." I don't even worry about it. I mean, used to, Charlie, I'm not here, man. Just here. Here's another mouthpiece.
Coach. I wonder how many random places got knee pads. Because every year you got to buy knee pads.
And why the kids pull the pants up over their knees? And it's a point of emphasis every year. And we're gonna make them. Why don't they just wear shorts? I mean, they wouldn't be wearing shorts for too long. That's one of my pet peeves. I don't know why. Because, the way they make them, it's like as soon as they get them, they pull the pants up over their knees. And I'm like, I don't even know why we have knee pads. They don't wear them. And then you're always missing them. There's 1,000 of them. And I don't know where they go. I mean,
that's like exactly my point. It's like, where do they go to? There's got to be some place that they just sacrifice them and dump them in somewhere. I don't know where they're going because every year, "Hey, Coach, can I get some knee pads?" Man, I know I've given you knee pads. Like, this is the second time.
Yeah. And you can try any system. You can number them. You can put their name on them. It don't matter. I don't know what they do with them.
I don't know.
It's like they take them home and make a Lego fort out of them or something. Yeah. I don't know what they're doing with them. But these jokers are crazy. So when you got your first head coaching job, what would you say was the most challenging aspect? Because your dad was a coach. You've always been around it. You were raised by good people in the coaching profession. So, everybody always says the same thing. You don't know what you don't know till you sit in the big chair. But, specifically for you, looking back, what was like the most, like, "Oh my God, this is bullcrap. I wasn't ready for this part." Like, what was the worst thing that you just didn't think you were prepared for?
So the day that I got announced in front of the players and introduced was the last day of school before they shut down for COVID. So,
well, yeah, there you go. Now that'd be it.
you know, so dealing with all of that, I would say it was more of a blessing than a curse. I can't imagine being, you know, one of my buddies is Travis Nolan, and I love to just call and talk to him, you know, and I can only imagine somebody like Travis who's done things a certain way for so many years, and then all of a sudden COVID happened, and having to change everything that he's done, his processes, his player packs, his meeting time, his workout schedule, all those things in practice when it comes to your kids. For me, I think it was kind of an easier transition because I knew no different. You know, I've been an assistant, but as far as like going through it, man, we just, you know, had a bunch of young guys on our staff, and, you know, we would meet however many we could, and we would figure out how we wanted it to go. And then we just rocked it and we rolled with it. And I think that was probably the most challenging thing. And then, you know, like I said, we had 53 kids to start off with. And, you know, we're playing 5A football at that time. And you're sitting there like, how are we going to play with somebody like Clark Central and Eastside? And, you know, we got Forsyth Central, who's a 7A school on the schedule. We got Parkview. And
you're at a baseball school. A perennial powerhouse, 74,000 times state champion, Logaville, but in trying to talk these kids into playing football.
Yeah, and you don't get to build the relationship part. I think that was probably the biggest thing. I was like, nobody knew I was employed, but I was employed. I was getting a paycheck from Walton County, and the only day I set foot in the school was the day that I got announced, and that following week, everything was gone. No going to school. So,
hey, how you doing? Head coach Brad Smith. Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Fired up. All right, COVID. Everybody go home. Oh,
everybody see you later. And I think that was the hardest part. You know, when we had that meeting, that introduction meeting, there were 90 kids sitting in that room, and then all of a sudden we start doing workouts. Parents obviously not knowing what's going on, and we started the season with 53 kids. And it's really hard to build that relationship, which is kind of the pillar and the foundation of everything that I believe in, from Coach Rick, Coach Jones, Coach Stringer, just a lineage of people that I've played for, worked for. And it's hard to build that over Zoom. I struggle with that probably the most. And, you know, now we got 85 kids, 10 through 12, and we got 48 freshmen, and we have 22 coaches. And so that in itself here at Allatoona presents a whole nother litany of issues and dealing with, you know, like our freshman staff, I haven't seen them yet because we're over here getting ready. We're going to Tennessee tomorrow for a 7-on-7, and our freshman coaches and our varsity coaches are kind of, when one's outside, the other one's inside, you know, and so just kind of, it's crazy. But I would say that was the hardest thing at Logaville. And that's why when you ask me what I'm take the most pride in, man, like to take it from COVID and in that short time frame, and that, you know, that group, that core group that we had, to be able to build those relationships and maintain those and keep those kids in the program when they were freshmen and sophomores to their senior year, having the success that they had. That's one of the things I'm the most proud of.
Well, and two things, you went viral.
Yeah, that happened too.
Yeah, you went viral, and it took a legend to replace you. You can look at you and say that too. I mean,
yeah, and I think that's the thing too. Is like,
pretty cool.
I felt like we left it in a good place, a good enough place. I did, where I've always been told, leave it better than you found it. And so that's the kind of thing we do when we go to a locker room, when we're in a visiting team, or, you know, tomorrow when we go to Tennessee, like nobody's going to say, hey, look what Allatoona did. You know, I never want to be viral when it comes to look at the locker room that Allatoona left, no class and all this kind of stuff. It's one of my biggest fears. And so to have someone like Coach Cathcart want to take it over after we left, I was like, this is obviously in a much better situation than when I found it. And so I was proud of that.
Yeah, it's not like they hired me to come in there after you left. I mean, they went and got a dude.
They got a dude.
Yeah, they got a dude. And I'm sure he's going to do a great job there too. But that foundation there that, you had to bring it back and, had fallen off a little bit, but you go viral. What was that like? The play?
Man, I tell you, so, it's funny. I went home. We had dead week last week, and I went and visited mom and dad. My wife was going up to Blue Ridge with some friends. And so I went and visited my parents, and a couple of our players were home. And they called me like, Coach.
Tyler Reddick here from 2311 Racing. Another checkered flag for the books. Time to celebrate with Chumba. Jump in at ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See T&Cs. 21 plus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
Are you around? We come hang out. And I was like, well, I'm actually my mom and dad. And it's like the first thing they want to talk about. And
the play.
And they go, Coach, we've never asked you, like, what was going through your head? And so then you have to run through the whole thing, man. Like, we're in the fourth overtime. Everybody's cramping. Everybody's dying. Our quarterback just took a helmet to the shin. We got a freshman that's now setting all these passing records for Logaville. He's not ready at the moment. It's 3rd and 12, and we're on the 17-yard line. I don't really know what went through my head, but I said it, and I wish that I could have taken a snapshot of everybody's face. Coach Reed, who came with me, Coach Aldridge, who's still there at Logaville.
Yeah, Coach Reed's a good dude. I like him too.
Yeah, they're all like, "Are you sure? Are you sure about that?" And I don't know. I think Ryan Angel, our defensive coordinator, that was there with us and still there. He comes walking down. Because I had to call a timeout because the quarterback just took a shot. And I'm sitting there looking at him, and I'm like, what do you think? Like, do we want to do it? And he looked at me, and he goes, hell yeah. And so I think that was like the little, like, oh. And I had just finished reading, was the head coach at Bruce Arians. I finished reading Bruce Arians' book. And I remember him talking about all the success that he had with Ben Roethlisberger and Peyton and all those guys. And his whole thing was no risk it, no biscuit. And that was running through my head. And I said, let's do it. Like, what do we have to lose? And hell, if we didn't do it and it connected, and I didn't know there was a video. The only video that we had was like our end zone shot of it. Because it's funny enough, our sideline view had went out in the third quarter. The third overtime, the battery died. We had 2 batteries, and the battery had died.
Of course it did.
But but it just so happened that kid had his phone down there, and Coach Oglesby, who's still at Loganville, put it on Twitter, and next thing you know, Max Preps is running it, and all of a sudden we go to Waffle House or wherever we went, and we're sitting there, and Willie's like, Coach, look at this. And I'm looking at it, and it's got like 40,000 likes already. And I was like, this thing's about to blow up. And it did. And I told somebody, they're like, how did you know it was going to be that big? I said, I didn't until my kid came and said, hey, look, Dad, dude, perfect like this, and shared it. And I was like, that's
pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty big. So
yeah, that's pretty cool.
It was a cool moment, man. And I think it kind of helped that season.
Well, that's why you practice the plays. I mean, that's why.
And it's funny.
Stuff.
Like,
I mean,
I didn't get offended by some of the comments, but like what DA called this play and all the, you start reading the comments and stuff, and like, what an idiot! This coach should be fired on Monday.
You're like, yeah, probably so if it doesn't work.
And I'm just laughing at it. But then they're like, and then I saw so many of them like, they never practiced this. They never practiced this. Well, it just so happened that in weight training, we got done a little bit earlier in that week. And, man, I filmed them working on it in the weight room. I posted that on social media, and then that went viral. They're like, holy crap, they did practice it. And I'm like, yeah, we did, man.
Yeah, we're not just drawing stuff in the dirt over here. I mean, everybody practices trick plays every now. Yeah. We're doing it now. We're not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was not supposed to go that far. Like, he definitely overthrew it, and some adrenaline was pumping. And thank God for Josh, our tight end, making an adjustment on the play, man. And that's a great memory for the kids. I mean, they'll never forget that forever. And one of the ones that came that visited me this weekend, he's like, they need to know that they didn't score on that play. His butt was down on the one, and I went and put it in the end zone. I was like, Mason, you're never gonna get that credit because it's always gonna be like this to win the game, you know.
Yeah.
So
30 years from now,
awesome.
that's gonna be his part of the story. Well, technically, he didn't score.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I still get people. You know, one of our former players, he wasn't on the team that year, but he sent me a thing. He's like, "Look what I just stumbled across on Instagram," and I'm like, "Man, it's still rolling out there. That's awesome." So,
yeah, that's pretty cool. So now you're at Allatoona. You got year 1 in the books. What's year 2 looking like? How was spring?
My spring was good. We had so we're rolling right now about 84, 85 kids. We had a 95, 96, and through 12. Some kids, you know how it is in spring. Hey, let's try out this football thing, see if it's for me. And then you have a little bit of, you know, I don't think so. So we kind of condensed it down and narrowed it down to about 85. And I feel good about it. I feel like there's way more potential for this group than we might have had last year, just simply for the fact, nothing against the kids last year. They were just kind of put behind the 8 ball. I didn't get there till after spring break. Offensive coordinator didn't get there till early June. Defensive coordinator really didn't come in until same time. So it was kind of, we had hodgepodge and, you know, we were putting Band-Aids on bullet wounds the whole season last year. And I think the hardest thing for me and what I realized, and it's not a knock on anything, but like when you have a place for 15 years that has just been one thing and it's lived and died by this and it's who they are and it's, you know, it's in their DNA, and to go in there and try to evolve that into a little bit of a different look was a bigger challenge than maybe I thought anticipated. And so coaching coaches on what we were trying to do and what we were trying to accomplish, that took a lot longer than I think that I had originally calculated. And so that adjustment, I think we're in a much better place now than we were at this time last year. I know we are. So I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm a lot like you. There's not a lot of days I'm depressed. I don't want to say I'm a glass half full guy, but I'm an anxious guy. And I'm always like, well, you know, we're having practice at 7. We're having kids come in at 7:45. Nobody's going to come. They're not going to show up. No one's going to be here, you know, and then they all show up. And so I'm one of those guys. I don't know if it's like, I just worry that things are not going to go the way that
I've been accused more than 7 times of being negative. And I'm like, well, if you really know me, I'm not negative. I'm a realist.
Yeah.
And I prepare myself for the worst case scenario mentally. And then if it happens, I'm prepared for it and it's not so bad. And
I think that's it. I would say I'm very similar to that. I don't want to be caught off guard by anything.
Right. And if anything better than that happens, it's like Christmas.
There's no doubt.
I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This went way better. I mean, I don't say it out loud, but in my brain, I'm going, this went way better than I thought it was going to go.
And then there's days like, you know, today was kind of a weird day. I had our starting safety was like, Coach, I don't really know if I can go to Tennessee. I didn't know it was going to be an all-day thing, and I don't want to miss basketball practice because we play at West Georgia on Friday. I said, hold up now. You don't want to miss the practice before you go play. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't get that. Like, you know, and it's just those kind of things. Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah. So you don't want to go to this college where these college coaches are going to see you.
And you're 6 foot. You're 6 foot, man.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, and so
you're not going to play college basketball.
No, I struggle with that.
Yeah.
You know, because those things come out of, and you're like, man, I thought, you know, you go to a place like here that you don't have to deal with that. And I think that I struggle with that. And, you know, luckily I got some buddies that I know they deal with that the same anywhere. It's maybe not that same instance.
Oh, right.
But there's something that they're dealing with like that.
Yeah, it's
at a Buford or a Carrollton that they're not, that they weren't anticipating, that they weren't counting on. So it's just how do you?
Yeah, it's societal. No, it's societal. I mean, It's not just you. And it gets worse. I mean, I'm not being that guy. I'm just saying, you look at somebody and you're like, you're doing what now? That's why I can't. Well, I mean, it's one of the 72 reasons I can't be a head coach, because I don't have a filter. And I'm like, you're doing what? Man, get out my face. Go sit down somewhere. I ain't got time for this. Go sit down and color or something. I ain't got time.
So I'm hoping he gets on the bus tomorrow. That's the kind of thing. And, we got a contingency plan if he doesn't.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping he's on the bus.
Well, like y'all, we're doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So yesterday, I'm doing O-line this year, and I did that the first year, and then last year I did linebackers. And our offensive line coach, he was in a horrible motorcycle accident. He's still in the hospital, so I've had to go back to offensive line. So I'm sitting there yesterday, and I'm like, all right, head coach is giving me a list of who he wants to play where. So here's my list, and I'm looking. All right, there's my left tackle. Sweet. All right, there's my center. As they come in, I'm checking them off, and I'm like, all right, I got five. We're good. We're good. Then today I'm sitting there, where's the right tackle? And I'm going to the kids. Hey, where's so-and-so? Where's he at? He ain't here, coach. Man. But I picked up two that weren't there the day before. So I'm like, all right, dude. I mean, it's like making a pitching change in a single-A baseball game. You're going to the mound going, all right, Brad, you did a good job today. Go to third base. And then you look out there in the field and you're like, oh my God, we got a pitch count. Hey, Chris, when was the last time you pitched? In the 7th grade, sir. All right, you're in.
Get out of there.
All right, who can I put in left field? You start looking around. It's like, God.
Oh.
And then, of course, the kid comes rolling in after practice. My bad, coach, I overslept. Well, we still had practice. Believe it or not, we found somebody to go.
That's right.
So, yeah. It's just like that every day. You just have to be able to shoot from the hip. So I'm sure y'all will figure something out. I mean, crap, you got 85 kids. Surely, it's like today we talked about why we flip our corners. And I pointed out, I said, I don't like it. I'm like, why can't they just stay where they're at? Well, because one of them's he's better in man coverage than
one-on-one. So you got to feel the boundary guy.
Yeah. He's better one-on-one. I'm like, we ain't got, they can't cover somebody one-on-one. I mean, I'm old, I'm an old head. I'm like, he can't play man coverage. Well, not as good as, what's the drop off? They're kids. They run around and run with each other. Don't let him get by you. And he's just looking at me like, you just don't get it. And I'm like, no, apparently I don't. But I can tell you what I do get. Them jokers get a strength call wrong and they start flip-flopping and running across the field, and them over there snap the ball. We in a problem.
Yes, no doubt.
That I really don't understand. Why can't we just play quarters and tell them to back the hell up? Don't let them get behind you. I'm South Georgia. I'm South Georgia country cover 3 or man. Let's go. I'm not used to telling me they can't play man. Are you kidding me? We're going to man everybody and send 8.
No doubt.
We're blitzing getting off the bus. Are you kidding me?
Take our chances.
But no, I'm sure y'all will be fine. Going up to Rocky Top.
Yeah, man.
It'll be fun. How long is it going to take y'all to get up there?
So it's 2 hours and 35 minutes from Ackworth. So,
really? That's not bad at all.
It's not bad,
That's Richmond Hill's shortest region game trip.
Yeah. And then we go next week to Athens, which is 2 hours and 15 minutes. So it's I think it's just a cool experience for the guys. They get to be in Neyland Stadium and take a look around, and some of them will never go there ever again, and so to give them an experience to go to compete against different people, there's not a single person that's going to be there tomorrow that we'll ever see. Moody, Alabama, Spartanburg, South Carolina, some different places in Tennessee. So for our kids to go compete against that, I think it'll be fun for them.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, Coach, you've done a great job. It's been awesome hearing your story, how you've gotten from A to B, and it's going to be fun to watch you continue to grow and affect young men's lives. And I hope y'all have a safe trip up to Tennessee this week. Of course, by the time this airs, y'all have already been back from UGA camp by then. I hope y'all have a good time there as well. I appreciate you being on with us, and if there's ever anything in the world I can do for you, just reach out and let me know.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Coach.
See you.
Tyler Reddick here from 2311 Racing. Another checkered flag for the books. Time to celebrate with Chumba. Jump in at ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See T&Cs. 21 plus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
When you manage procurement for multiple facilities, every order matters. But when it's for a hospital system, they matter even more. Grainger gets it and knows there's no time for managing multiple suppliers and no room for shipping delays. That's why Grainger offers millions of products in fast, dependable delivery, so you can keep your facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.